Today, we're diving into something that, at first glance, might seem like a real contradiction. We're talking about the Bahá'í Faith and its teachings on gender, which present a really fascinating paradox.
All right, so here's the central puzzle we're going to unpack. You've got a faith that puts a huge emphasis on educating girls, but then its highest governing body is reserved only for men. So you have to ask, right? How do those two things fit together? Well, to even begin to understand it, we've got to go back to a really core spiritual idea that everything else is built on.
And this foundation isn't just some social rule or recommendation. Now, this goes way deeper. It's about what it fundamentally means to be human. So this quote is really the key to everything. The Baha'i teachings are saying, look, the real you, your true identity, is your soul. And that soul, it has no gender. It's not male, it's not female, it's purely spiritual. That's the starting point. At our very core, we're all equal. And this is so important because you have to see everything else through this lens. This idea of a genderless soul, that's the foundation. It sets up this absolute, non-negotiable spiritual equality before any other social roles or distinctions even come into the picture.
Okay, so if the soul is genderless, how does that actually play out in the real world? Well, the Baha'i writings have this incredible analogy to help us visualize it.
Imagine humanity is a giant bird. To fly, it needs two strong wings, right? Well, in this analogy, one wing represents men and the other represents women. The argument is that for a long, long time, the women wing has been held back, denied the same opportunities and education. And what happens when a bird has one weak wing? It can't soar. It just flutters and struggles, never reaching its full potential.
And this quote from Abdul-Baha just nails it. It's not just about fairness for women, it's about the survival and progress of all of humanity. The whole bird, the whole world, is held back until both wings are equally strong. We're all in this together, and we can't fly until everyone can.
So if the goal is to strengthen that weaker wing, how do you do it? Well, this leads to a really practical and, frankly, revolutionary teaching. And this gets us right back to the first part of that paradox we talked about.
Okay, let's make this real. Picture a family. They have a son and a daughter, but they only have enough money to send one child to school. It's a tough choice, and one that families have faced all over the world for centuries. Who gets the education?
And the Baha'i teachings are crystal clear on this. The answer? The daughter. No hesitation. Think about when this was written, that was an absolutely radical idea. So why? What's the thinking here?
It's actually a really practical, long-term strategy. The idea is that mothers are the first teachers of their children. They're the ones who shape the next generation. So if you educate a girl, you're not just educating one person. You're ensuring that knowledge and values get passed down to all her future children, boys and girls. It's like the ultimate force multiplier for the whole of society.
All right, so that's the whole educate daughters first piece. It makes a lot of sense. But now we have to deal with the other side of the coin, the part that seems to contradict it. Governance.
So here's how it's set up. At the local and national level, Baha'i communities elect their councils, and men and women are totally equal. Both can vote and both can be elected, no problem. But when you get to the very top, the international governing body, called the Universal House of Justice, membership is for men only.
So you have to ask, why? After all this talk about equality, why this one major exception? And the honest answer from the Baha'i texts is, we don't fully know yet. It's described as a wisdom from God that will one day become totally clear as the sun at high noon. It's basically an appeal to trust that there's a reason, even if it's not obvious to us right now. And the way this is explained is really key. The writings stress that this is a difference in function, not in status. It's not saying men are better or more capable. It's saying that in this one specific role, within a system that is otherwise completely equal, there's a functional distinction. It's about a specific job, not about a person's worth or ability.
Okay, so let's zoom out. We've got the genderless soul, the two wings of the bird, educating daughters first, and this unique rule for the highest governing body. How on earth do these all fit together? Well, they're all seen as pieces of a much bigger puzzle, building a whole new kind of world.
See, the end goal here isn't just about tweaking the current system or getting more women into existing power structures. It's about fundamentally changing the system itself. The vision is for a future civilization where what we think of as masculine and feminine qualities are finally in balance. So, what does that look like? Well, it means rethinking what power even is, moving away from dominance and aggression and towards things like cooperation and service.
It's a vision where women are seen as absolutely essential to bringing about world peace, and ultimately, it's about men and women working shoulder to shoulder as true partners to build a better, more just society.
Which brings us right back to where we started, that central question. How can one belief system hold these two big ideas at the same time? On the one hand, this deep, profound spiritual equality where the soul has no gender, and on the other, these very specific functional distinctions. It's a fascinating look at the tension between a core principle and its practical application, and it really leaves you with a lot to think about.